10 days ago, I made a decision to make a change in my life. I was so sick and tired of being sick and tired of doing this one bad habit. And I committed to this 10-day challenge where I switched out my negative habit with a positive habit that I did want in my life. And doing this the last 10 days has had such a powerful impact in me feeling like I've leveled up within so many different areas of my life in ways that I hadn't expected it to. And I want to share my experience with you and the results I've seen so far and the challenges that has come with doing this challenge the last 10 days, hoping that you are ready and willing, or at least that it will inspire you to think about doing a challenge like this for yourself in order to level up in your life. Because I think that we all have one habit that we are not willing to let go of, but that we know if we were to let go of it, it would change your life in a lot of ways, that it would have a positive impact on our mood, on our relationships, on our career, our health, maybe even our finances. And sometimes we just need a little motivation, a little push in the bum to actually get started on it. At least that's how it is for me whenever I want to change something in my life. And first, I just want to say that today I'm recording this podcast as an audio, but also with a camera in my face. And this is actually a result of me having done this challenge, that it has pushed me to want to also have this podcast as a video, if that is something you prefer. I know that we all like to consume our podcast in different ways. So if you're someone who likes to watch video podcasts, then now that will be available as well. And with that being said, this is not the first time that I'm trying to record it. I have gotten so used to and comfortable with recording my podcasts in my bed with the lights off. It's still dark out. It really is still dark out. Like I woke up not too long ago. I've just been journaling and meditating, and now I'm recording this podcast. But I've just gotten so used to and comfortable just sitting with you and recording this podcast. Just you and I with no camera in my face and just chatting. And now that I have challenged myself to also record it visually, it's been different for me. And today it took me a few tries of me being like, hello, my friends, and welcome to Challenge Your Norm podcast. And I had to restart because I just felt that there was a different energy because I felt this pressure of a camera in my face. And now I just decided I'm just going to do it, because if it's a goal of mine to want to also have this video of the podcast, then I just got to get used to it, right? And then maybe I'll suck at first, but then I'll get better. And I'm actually not looking at the camera because I can feel that throws me off. So I'm just kind of looking around as I normally am when I record a podcast episode. And I'm just sharing that with you to say that if there's something that you feel the urge to do, but then you try it out, you get started on it, and you feel like you suck, or you feel like it's not the same, and you feel like whatever, then sometimes it's okay to just give it a few tries, and eventually we'll get better at it, right? If we suck at something long enough, eventually, if we keep practicing, we're going to get better at it. So I'm doing my best. I'm trying my best to kind of navigate these changes within the podcast. I love doing these podcasts because I just feel like it's you and I just sitting and chatting about life, about challenging our norm and getting better. And that I feel is a great way to get into this 10-day challenge that I've been doing in order to change this habit that I did not want to do any longer. So I already recorded one podcast episode on this when I was 3 days in. And today is the first day where I actually completed the challenge. So I wanted to sit down with you and talk about what it is, what has happened, and how I'm feeling, and how it's made a change, a really positive change in many aspects of my life. So what happened was that I, 10 days ago, got so sick and tired of me constantly every night when I came back from dance class or when I was exhausted after a day of work, I would just binge watch YouTube videos. And I had gotten really like a lot of fulfillment, a lot of creative inspiration out of watching YouTube videos, because I obviously make YouTube videos myself. So I just learn a lot from, watching other creators, how they are creating their videos. But it had gotten to a point where it was just too much. It was taking away from me taking action on certain things, or taking away from me actually creating. And I just felt like lazy. I felt like it didn't align with the person I wanted to be. However, what did align with the person I wanted to be was reading self-development books. I've told myself for so long that I wanted to start reading at night consistently and making that like a little night ritual. And I just hadn't gotten started on it. Like with anything, when I wanted to get in shape, when I wanted to, anything that I've wanted to accomplish in my life, that has been a little challenging, because obviously but I would always navigate towards wanting to just lay back and watch a YouTube video rather than like pick up a book and read that book. Or just like, let's just give the example of getting in shape, because I think we can all relate to that. It would be easier to eat that 10 p.m. ice cream rather than like tell myself that after my dinner I was done eating, or not get up early to go to the gym before my workday begins. Like that was always like the more challenging thing to do. And so when I wanted to get in shape, it was like a commitment I had to make with myself. I'm going to do this, and there are no excuses. And so that's what I decided to do with this 10-day experiment as well, that I could not watch YouTube videos for 10 days. And instead, whenever I felt like relaxing or just, chilling for a little bit, shut off my brain, not work, not exercise, I would read self-development books. And I did that. And you maybe have listened to my podcast episode 3 days in, and I had some really powerful things happen, I felt, within from doing it the first 3 days, but it's just compound affected more and more and more the more days I did this. And I know that you have your version of what that looks like for you. You have your version of that one habit that you really don't want to be doing anymore. The one habit that that you should stop doing, but it's so hard. But you just need that final commitment. And yes, you may every morning or every Monday say, this week I'm not gonna do it, because that was me for the YouTube video watching. But when it then gets late at night and your brain is exhausted, then you would let go and you would just do it anyway, because you hadn't actually like fully committed, right? You had kind of half-ass committed, just like I had half-ass committed. So hopefully you can right now think of that thing that you've been wanting to start doing or stop doing, as I talk about how it's impacted my life doing this one single little habit change, so that when you listen to this podcast, you know exactly what you need to do to make these changes for yourself as well. Because that's obviously why I'm sharing this. It's to hopefully inspire you to make some positive changes in your life, challenge your norm, and actually make that thing happen. So first of all, I want to say that I've had a difficulty trying to figure out how to explain this, but I'll do my best. And I apologize if it doesn't make full sense, but I will do my best. So I feel like when you're consuming social media or YouTube videos, it's like your brain is controlled by what you're watching. But when you are reading, for me, in this instance, it's been self-development book. I've always only read self-development books, so I don't know if it's different when you're reading a novel or something. But when I'm reading a self-development book, it almost feels like, yes, you are controlled by what you're reading, but it makes you reflect, right? Because it's self-development. It's pushing you to think outside of the box. So because you're reading, it constantly makes your brain be in this creative flow of reflecting on your life. And so from me, let's say reading before I go to bed, obviously we know that what we're consuming before we go to bed impacts your sleep. So because I've been reading self-development books right before I've gone to bed, my sleep has been it's just felt really comfortable. Like I've woken up in the morning feeling really good and still in this reflection, positive mindset state. So it's been easier for me while doing my morning routine to get these creative ideas of what I could create throughout the day and just stay within this reflection, creative flow, which is the first positive, clear impact that this challenge has done on my life. But what this has done throughout my day is that it has gotten me to get these really creative ideas. And when I say creative ideas, it's not like, let me change the world by doing this thing. No, it's been like small little pops of thoughts that have come into my mind, like, I should reach out to this person, or I should try to research this topic, or I should make this video today. And because I didn't have my YouTube videos calling in the back of my mind, for you, maybe it's TikTok scrolling or whatever it is for you. Maybe it's eating, alcohol. It could be all these things. Because I knew that that was not a possibility for me, the YouTube binge watching, I would just take action right away. I'm normally pretty good at taking action right away as well, because I know that when I get an instinct to do something, I know that the longer I wait, the less chance there is for me actually taking the action. And I hope that that sinks in, because it's really a thing. I heard someone else say it. I forget who it was, but when we have an idea to do something, we should do it right away, because the longer we wait, the less chance there is that we're actually going to do it. And I think that that's just important to keep in mind whenever we have a gut instinct to do something, that we just do it right away. But I've been pretty good at that, but I would say that throughout these last 10 days, I've gotten better at just doing it right away. But it may also be a result of the fact that I've gotten more of these like creative thoughts because I haven't been consuming as much. I've still allowed myself to do TikTok, Instagram, and shorts, because that has helped me get creative with my own videos. Plus I've been posting and it's a part of my job. So I don't feel like that is as much of a distraction as my YouTube binge watching. So that is what I focused on, like the long form videos. However, let's take this back. Creative ideas throughout the day, taking action. Yes, that has really been impactful. And that has led me to taking action on different areas of my life. So for instance, me recording this podcast as a video as well was one of those creative thoughts that I got, that I knew at some point I was going to do, but I didn't know when I was going to do it. And I just decided, okay, I'm just going to get started on it. And that's what we're doing now. And by the way, if you want to watch this video form, it's going to be on YouTube, as well as, I believe, on Spotify. I can upload it as well. So I'm going to figure out how that works and do that. So that was like one of the ideas, recording this podcast as a video as well. Another creative idea that popped up was that I just found out that I'm getting my apartment back on September 12th. Oh my goodness, I am so excited. I just moved from one friend's house into another friend's house, and it's just been a lot of apartment jumping since coming back from this digital nomad life early. And so I'm just so excited to get my apartment back. But I realized that I am going to get it back on the 12th of September. And for a long time, I've known that there's this self-development event happening in Ohio. And when I realized that I was going to get my apartment back on the 12th of September, I then realized that this event was from the 8th till the 10th. And I was like, I think that this is a sign that I should go to this event. And one of the ideas that then popped up in my mind was, why don't you reach out to them and tell them that you're going to be posting about the event, and ask them if they've ever done like partnerships with creators. And normally, I don't know if I would have reached out to them, but because I got this creative idea on one of my walks, I was taking a long walk because I couldn't watch YouTube videos. So I've been walking a lot throughout these 10 days as well, which I usually enjoy, but there's just something about when you're not drawn to consume that then there's a more likely chance that you take action on those other things. So yeah, I got this pop-up idea while I was walking, and I reached out to them, and they right away got back to me saying that, oh yeah, we want to give you like the premium version of the ticket. So first of all, I saved a ton of money of like not having to pay for the event. And I got the premium ticket, which if I hadn't gotten that creative idea and then taken action on it, then that wouldn't have happened. And I want to share another example with you. I got the creative idea to reach out to this female creator that I have been watching on YouTube, who I just was incredibly inspired by, and just could feel her beautiful soul. I reached out to her a little while ago and we finally set up our chat. It was beautiful. She inspired me. We got a lot of value out of just connecting. And then something that has been a goal of mine for a very long time, or something I've journaled about really wanting, is becoming a part of a mastermind, because I feel like I'd really just love to connect with other like-minded individuals who are doing the same thing for a living as myself. A lot of us have colleagues when we work a regular job, or any job really. We have colleagues, but I'm doing everything myself. I do work with freelancers here and there, but just like having a little bit of a group of people who I can connect with, and if I run into any challenges, or, just having people who are doing the same thing would just be incredible. And that's something I've been writing in my journal for like a year. And after this conversation with this beautiful soul, she invited me to her mastermind. And now, in a few days, I'm going to jump on my first call with these incredible women. I went into the group and checked out all the females, and they just instantly inspired me. And so I think that this thing of like not consuming will make you have more creative thoughts, which will help you take action. And just that's what's going to help you create a better life, right? Because then the more action you take, the more it's going to eventually happen. I will say I've also taken a lot of action which hasn't happened. And I think every time in my life when I've wanted to level up, I've taken 100 steps of action, like just like small things, like reaching out to people, doing little action things here and there. And only maybe 2% of the things that I take action on actually happen. But if I didn't take action on the 100 things, nothing would have happened, right? So I just think that the more action we take, the more likely it is that something happens. So we should not get discouraged just because the things that we take action on aren't happening, because the more action we take, the more likely it really is that things eventually will happen. So just to hype you up to like continue doing what you're doing, because eventually if you work long enough for it, if you continue to reflect on how you can do it better and take more action, eventually something is going to happen. And if we listen to anyone who's become successful in life, that will be their story as well. Like they failed so many more times than they have had successes. So just a little reminder for us all. Next thing I want to chat with you about is my diet. Because I've not been watching YouTube videos while I've been eating throughout these 10 days, I've really been able to more so pay attention to how my body feels after a meal. And that means that I've been paying attention to the specific food I've been eating and how my body reacts after having eaten it, which then has led me to take action on letting go more of some of the foods I've been eating, more of the processed foods, and incorporated more veggies into my diet. Because every time I eat a meal that has so much veggies, I just feel incredible. And that has helped me level up my energy, like really feeling energized throughout my day and not at any point getting like, midday slum. I ate a lot of veggies before this, so I'm talking an extreme amount of veggies. But yeah, it makes me feel so good. I think some nutritionists would maybe say you gotta cut down a little bit on the veggies, but I'm just gonna listen to my body, and it makes me feel amazing. What that also has done, which is something I noticed back when I was vegan I think I was vegan for 6 months. When I was vegan for that long, I noticed that I sleep less, but I still feel as energized. And that's what happened in this situation as well. I've been sleeping less, and it's just cool to when you're more present in your diet that you can make those little changes. It's not like I ate a lot of processed foods, but just a little less Greek yogurt, a little less like protein wraps, like things like that. I eat these like egg wraps or shirataki noodles, which is this like a tofu type of noodle, but they don't have a lot of nutritional value. It's very low in calories, but I just felt like I was eating, maybe after eating those, maybe I didn't feel as good as when I was eating like a meal full of nutritious deliciousness to my food. So yeah, just wanted to mention that. Other than that, because I've been in this creative flow of like just constantly in this self-development, you can tell I'm really like explaining I'm really trying to sell you on this idea of letting go of your negative habit and changing it out with reading self-development books, because it really is powerful. So moving on to the next thing. We're almost there, I promise. The next thing that I had done throughout these 10 days is this year I've not been focused on like my finances. And I, throughout this challenge, one day set myself a financial goal because I realized some things that I want to do with my career, with this podcast, with everything that I'm doing to hopefully make an impact in people's lives and hopefully help them change for the better. I realized some things that I want to do within my business, and that's going to cost money. So I set myself a financial goal, and I'll let you know how that goes. It was August 25th when I set that goal, and I gave myself till September 25th. So remind me to let you know how that goes. But I've been writing it down in my journal again and again and again every single morning, which is what I've done every time I've manifested something crazy. Like it's crazy. Like you should be like, I have blah, blah, blah on this day, and I'm so grateful for it. Or thank you so much, universe, God, whatever you believe in, for giving me this, da, 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 da. It feels incredible in my soul, and I'm so excited and grateful that you gave this to me. Whatever it makes sense to you, but just like writing that same sentence over and over and over in your journal has really, as well as a vision board, has really been powerful previously in my life. So I believe that this financial goal that I've set myself is going to happen. And that's a thing, right? You have to believe that it's possible. You have to believe that it's going to happen, because with that happening, I believe I can make these changes within my business, which will help me make such a bigger impact. With that being said, however, I'm not going to wait till I get that financial goal to get started on those things that I want to do to make a bigger impact, because I think there's always a way to do it with, like, it's always a good excuse to be like, oh, but I don't have the money to get started on it. No, there's always a way. So I'm getting started on these changes, but I just still want to manifest the finances so that I can do it in a more powerful way. But I'm not letting it stop me from getting started already with what I have got so far. I actually often feel that when I'm doing something like low budget, something less effort, sometimes that makes a bigger impact or just does better in, when I put it out there. So yeah, just a little reminder for us all that we can say that we need a certain thing to get started, but sometimes that is just an excuse, and there is a way for us to get started already with what we got. Oh, and something I just have to share is I've been in a good workout routine before I did this challenge, but it has really, like, because I've been in this self-development motivation flow and not consuming, I have been so motivated at the gym. I have had the best gym sessions. I've gone back to speaking to myself more in the gym, being like, Pernilla, you got this. You're tough AF. And like, this is so, this is so weird, but like, trust me, it helps. Just give it a try and let me know. Looking at yourself, if you're in the squat rack or whatever, and there's a mirror in front of you, like just staring deeply into your eyes, just being like, you are badass. You are badass. You're tough AF. You can freaking do this. Like whatever works for you, just give that a shot and let me know, because that it just gets you excited. And also what these self-development books have reminded me of is to embrace the suck, embrace the pain, embrace wanting to actually feel that discomfort, because that's the only thing that can help us actually grow, right? When we're challenging our norm, then that's when we grow. And so in the gym sessions, just like wanting it to hurt, wanting it to be painful so that I can grow. And that has obviously compound affected in all the other areas of life. Like when I don't want to do something, doing it anyway, because I know that's the way to grow. It's just, I've known this, before, just like it, but just being reminded of it is always good, right? So I just feel really good after having done this challenge. That doesn't mean that I'm gonna continue not watching YouTube videos at all because I miss it. Like, I feel like there needs to be a balance in life, but whenever I do an extreme challenge like this, it helps me completely get out of the habit. And then from there, because I know now I'm able to not binge watch YouTube videos every night, I can then from there reflect and figure out, okay, how do I find a good balance so that I continue this good energy flow and I still allow myself to do that. Maybe that means like me 2 nights a week, I just completely shut off my brain and I watch YouTube videos, and the rest of the time I don't. I read self-development books. I don't know yet what that's going to look like. I just think it's good to have experienced the extreme so that you then can make changes that actually reflect what you deep down want to do because you've tried the opposite. And I think that what I hope you get from this podcast episode is that right now you think that, yeah, you have a habit that you want to get rid of, but what is it actually going to do? Like, how big of a change can it actually make in your life? And I hope that from listening to all of these things that it has impacted in my life, how it's compound affected within so many areas of my life. I hope that it gives you enough fire up in your bum to actually make the changes so that you can experience how big of a change you can make in your entire life if you just switch out this one habit you want to get rid of with a one habit that you want to incorporate into your life. We all know that when we've been in a great, I'm going to use getting in shape as an example again, because I feel like it's something we can all relate to. We've all tried getting up every morning and working out, how that has impacted our diet, our energy levels, our mood, our everything, right? Our work, our career, our goal setting, and just taking action. Because we do this one little change, it affects our entire life. And so I'm hoping that you now are motivated, inspired enough to go out there and make that commitment to yourself. And what I did was I had this weekly call with my brother. We are keeping each other accountable on our goals and stuff. It's actually really powerful and has helped me a lot. Also, just like reflecting on the week every week. So every Sunday we meet up for a call, and we decided that if I don't complete this challenge, I had to give him $500. So that just gave me a little extra motivation to actually do this, where sometimes when we're with ourselves, it's easier to be like, I don't need to do it. And I haven't ever previously had like a deal with anyone like that, but like when I wanted to get in shape or anything, I know a lot of people talk about how it's good to have an accountability partner. I haven't done it before, but I must say it was cool. It was really cool to have like an accountability partner, so that I knew that if I didn't actually do the thing, then I would have to give him $500. And I mean, if he ever needs $500, I would just give it to him. But it was just, he doesn't actually want money from me, because if he needs anything, I always want to give him it. So what I'm trying to say is maybe you need an accountability partner. Maybe that's going to make it easier for you. Maybe your friend too wants to do this one change, wants to get in shape with you, wants to change this one eating habit, wants to start reading self-development book rather than scrolling on TikTok every night. Like whatever it is for you, maybe you and your friend could commit to doing it together, and that being like a little bit more powerful of a commitment when you do it together. Okay, I'm done rambling, but I really hope that you are ready to do that. Ready to get outside of your comfort zone, challenge your norm, and freaking grow from it. See a boost in your mood, in your energy, in your everything, in your entire life from doing this one little habit change. Thank you so much for listening or watching. If you are watching this video, thank you for doing that. I hope it's okay that I've been a little bit of a looking all over the place instead of looking in the camera. It's just because I'm shy, you guys. I'm shy. But hopefully I'll get better at it, just like we're all going to get better at the thing we suck at if we do it for long enough, right? I hope you go out there and that you have a beautiful day. And if you feel like this brought you value, hopefully you are willing to share it with a friend or on social media, and that you're willing to give me a review and give me up to 5 stars. That would be incredibly amazing. Thank you. And other than that, always remember that in order for you to grow, you've got to challenge your norm.